Subscribe to the Light Sports and Ultralight Flyer web video magazine with hundreds and hundreds of videos now online, including airshow coverage, Rotax engine tech tips, Rotax 377, 447, 503, 532, and 582 engine rebuilding videos, each 2 hours in length, propeller maintenance, advisories and repairs, BRS parachute saves, Bing carb updates, and much, much more. Get a yearly subscription at www.ultralightflyer.com.
This is a little bit of a change from our last video. We're here at AirVenture 2011. We're talking with Mitch from Hansen Airgroup, and he's going to tell us a few things about it that we didn't talk about last time. Specifically about some of the flight characteristics, but also about the part that catches people's attention of this airplane, which besides the folding bi-wing, which is itself a cool feature, this airplane is capable of aerobatic flying. So today you cannot do that with this particular airplane that we're looking at here, number 64.
I guess you can do aerobatics, but you're limited.
No, in this airplane, we've got the Rotax 912 ULS. Rotax does not sign off on aerobatics, so we cannot do aerobatics. I would love to say we could do positive G only, but can't do it. However, the Lycoming 233 is on the way, and when we get that airplane, or get that engine, this airplane's going to be aerobatic, and it's going to be fun.
So what is it about the 0233, Mitch, that makes that capable airplane? Besides Rotax just saying that, there's some hardware details.
Hardware details: a fuel injection system that replaces the float carburetors on the Rotax. You know, so we're not dumping fuel out if we go
Which
negative.
means if you get upside down, the fuel falls out of the carburetor.
And then inverted oil system, which is not available for the Rotax.
Which constantly pumps oil through the engine.
Yeah, and that'll have one for the we'll have one available for the 233. So that's the two biggest things, and the fact that Lycoming will sign off on aerobatics. So you know that's what we're looking for.
Right. Some of their engines have been upside down anyways.
Yeah, and they're pretty much bulletproof engines. So we're real excited about getting.
Now, most people know that even on the 233, on which I think they lightened it about 40 pounds or something in that range, in other words, a significant lightening, it's still a heavier engine than this. How does that affect the airplane and its characteristics, do you think?
It's not going to... This airplane was designed with the 912 in it and the ballistic recovery system that's mounted on the firewall. So the CG is set up for that. We do not have the BRS on this airplane, so without all that extra weight, we're actually running a little bit of aft CG. We got to watch that real close.
You mean it's already a little aft loaded? Okay.
Yeah. So when we get the Lycoming in there, it's going to be a little bit heavier, so that's going to take care of that. It's actually probably improved the handling and the envelope.
Now, does this mean that you fly this in an aerobatic, for aerobatic flight, you fly it only single place?
No, you can fly it two place.
In both seats. Obviously, the airplane has two seats in it, so. But do you normally fly from the back if you're flying solo?
Yeah, it's a aft solo only for CG purposes. Even with the other engine, you're not going to be able to do that.
Sure.
It's in the front seat, but you got plenty of visibility, and it's a dream to fly. So.
Now, we talked last time about the multiple canopies and ways you can do that, and I see the one that you've got on it today gives the aft seat a full canopy, and the front seat has what I'll call a summer canopy. You probably have another name for it.
Yeah, you fly with it closed. It just slides forward.
Slides forward. Okay.
Yeah. The reason for that is so you can open up and clear the wing.
Well, go ahead and show us how that works.
So it works fairly simple. You got latch handles in each slide here, and then slide it there, and it can be latched and you're closed up.
Okay.
If you want to swap it to a summertime configuration, 4 bolts takes this canopy off. You put another windscreen just like this one right here.
I see the little holes here for it.
11 screws put in there. The whole thing takes about 5 or 10 minutes to do.
That's it, huh?
Then you're in the summertime.
Well, the kind of air we've got here today, I think I'd much rather have that than this. Huh?
Yeah.
Kind of still and humid here today at
Oshkosh. This was great yesterday when it was pouring rain.
Yeah, right. Kept the rain out of the cockpit. So some of the versatility of the airplane is in that, but Tell us a little bit about the flight characteristics. An aerobatic airplane is not one that is real docile and slow, because that wouldn't benefit aerobatics.
Yeah.
So you got a little snappier airplane here. What's that mean about flying it?
It's not an airplane I would say you can trim up and fly hands off for 25 minutes or whatever. So you've got to fly it, but it's not twitchy. But it is very positive on the controls. When that aileron comes over with these full span ailerons, it rolls. It's
Yeah.
right there.
So looking at the airplane here, if I can move the surface a little bit,
Let me show you.
what's called a linked aileron system, where this strut here is doing all that work, is it not?
Yes.
Okay. So you're basically, I'm guessing you're moving which one, the upper one or the lower one?
You're moving the lower one. It's connected, linked up right there to wing.
And so, you know, when you get that on a fairly short span, what's the span of this airplane, Mitch?
22 feet.
22 feet, and ailerons that run the full length of it. I mean, what is the roll rate on this? It's got to be pretty darn snappy.
We haven't had it published, and since we can't do aerobatics, my brother and I tested it from steady state 60 degrees bank to steady state 60, 1.04 seconds. So, I mean, that was...
From 60 to 60.
60 to
the
60.
usual is 45 to 45.
Yeah,
You'd be
so-
under a second for that.
Yeah, I mean,
That's pretty darn fast. Normally, I would say that a reasonably quick airplane is about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah.
This is at least 3 times that fast. So this airplane is going to move. Now, that's got to mean, okay, here you are, let's say coming in for a landing in, we won't call them rowdy conditions, but conditions where the air's got a little movement to it. How is that?
it's very controllable, but it is a light sport, and it's lightly wing loaded. So just like all the light sports, you got to kind of watch it. Stall speed 45 knots flaps up, 35 knots flaps down.
35 knots flaps down.
Yeah. So if it's kind of gusty, I do a flaps up landing, and I make sure I get it on the ground.
And you
get
plan it
stuck,
then,
and I
okay.
plan it, make sure.
So if I wanted to buy this airplane, I'm an aerobatic lover, or I'm a bi-wing lover, or I love the folding wings, or whatever moves me on the FK12 Comet, what ways can I get it in the LSA spectrum, Nick?
Oh, you can get it factory built right now.
Okay, SLSA, no problem.
SLSA, factory built turnkey airplane.
Now that's Rotax and eventually Lycoming?
Rotax and Lycoming.
Okay.
We should have both those available before the end of the year.
Great.
Right now, everybody's asking about kits, but the kits right now don't meet the 51% rule. They're available in Europe, but not in the U.S. So
Okay, but you could do then an ELSA, could you not?
yeah, that's probably going to be our first kits. Are probably ELSAs, and we're exploring that right now, but we don't have any timeline on that.
So in case people don't know, you can do an ELSA, but you first have to have an SLSA, so they've already got that. That gives Hansen and the FK light plane folks over in Germany who manufacture the airplane the opportunity to offer it in a kit form that does not require 51%, but still allows the owner-operator to do more aspects of maintenance depending on some other issues, but it gives you a little extra flexibility. So if we'd like to get more information about this airplane or the other airplanes that you have, which are several, where do we go on the web?
www.hansenairgroup.com, and that is Hansen with an E, Hansen, all one word, Airgroup.
Airgroup.com. Very good.
And Dan, do you have any information on this airplane on your website?
I do. I did get to fly it, not upside down. We'll see about that later, but that's available on buydanjohnson.com or bydanjohnson.com or available on aircraftreporters.tv.